Alright, so I am in the nether. Oh god, there's Jeff. Okay, I was about to go meet him at spawn, but he doesn't want to talk to me right now. So, we need to head over to the spawn island, because I have an idea. You see, Jeff apparently got his elytra to work. I ran through the tunnel because, well, my connection is apparently non-existent. Uh, we went through the wrong portal.
I don't even need to do it anymore.
Alright, Jeff. So, we are at spawn because Jeff is apparently an elite builder of the highest, uh, buildest. So, this is the current setup we have right now for command blocks. All of these are just not command blocks. Basically, we can turn the scoreboard cycle on and off, assuming the server doesn't lag at all. So, if you turn it off, then the scoreboard cycle stops on whatever scoreboard it's on, and then if you click the button, it will remove the scoreboard for everybody. Alright. And that won't actually interact with the scoreboard, it just, oh god, okay, let's relog. It'll just take it off your screen. So what I've wanted for a long time is a way for all the server members to be able to change the scoreboard without being opt. See, Ina's opt, he can make it whatever scoreboard he wants. I don't actually know if he knows how to do that. And somebody's wearing thorns. But the idea I wanted to do was, I've mentioned this in the past actually, is to have a wall of buttons for everybody to be able to select a scoreboard. I've agreed with people's reactions to that it's really not maybe the best idea to just have a wall of buttons, but I do still think that a room with a bunch of buttons would be great. I don't know. See, look, if we do scoreboard list, is it? No,
I think
scoreboard
it would be much better to use trigger commands.
trigger command. What is
It's to set a scoreboard, but without being opt.
that's a thing?
Yeah,
Okay,
You can
I'm
have
gonna
commands
explain.
to detect
One
things said in chat.
.8.
Okay, see, this is perfect because if I hit enter here, you can see that's how many scoreboards we have. It doesn't even load them all in chat. The way you can also see it is scoreboard objectives set display sidebar and then just tab and it'll recommend all of our scoreboards. I guesstimate there are about 50. I'm not going to sit here and count them. I do like the idea of having a room full of buttons so that you can't really spam the scoreboard that way. Somebody needs to physically come to spawn, get onto the spawn island, and then you have to go down to this little panel here and then manually turn off the scoreboard cycle. I actually like that. With the trigger command, that's a good idea. I'll have to look into that off camera while I'm not recording, but I guess we'll make a decision based on that because, well, there will be a lot less building and a lot more typing if we end up going with that option.
3 hours later.
All right, I
I think I
feel as
understand.
though I've acquired enough information off camera from these guys to give an idea. Oh, okay. So apparently the trigger scoreboard, the trigger command, I would have to enter in a new scoreboard for every single score that we would want to use, like sea lanterns crafted, lifetime, bitches smacked, that kind of stuff. And we would need to have a receiving command block at spawn for every single one of these. And the only benefit I'm seeing is that you could do it remotely. I mean, okay, if you think about the only times you'll ever want to actually set a scoreboard, it's in the moment. So, like, the only times we've ever wanted stone on the scoreboard is when we're all inside of the perimeter and we just started digging. So, I guess to avoid someone having to run all the way to spawn, this is a nice idea. It just sounds like a lot more work. And would it be worth it is the question.
Well, it's just a lot of copy and pasting.
Yes, it is.
Like the actual change
But-
in work is not a huge amount.
Okay.
From like when you're building the button one, you have to
Yeah.
write out the commands anyway.
I was
so
going to mention
an
that.
extra bit from the
I mean, it would just be a lot of tabbing and pasting, but... And then we could have like a colorful control panel with like all 16 different color options, because that just changes it no matter what scoreboard's set. And then you could just... And that would be pretty nice because you can mix and match. Because right now I've hard-coded in the... You know what? I should actually really show what we have right now. You need to go to spectator mode to see... Oh, goddamn server lag. Okay,
You're
so...
inside.
This is what we have now. I disagree wholeheartedly with this. What we used to have was a bunch of locked hoppers with droppers on top to reduce the lag, and each hopper had a comparator facing out of it into a command block, and they were kind of staggered so that none of them mixed. And that worked great. LaFlossie switched it with this, which I do not like. It uses locked repeaters and it's a little fidgety. But this is kind of what we have now. And the top command blocks are all in relation to the color. If I go to game mode Uno here, you can see that all it does is change the color. So that means it's hard-coded. Whenever somebody sets it to like sea lanterns made, it's always going to be light blue in here. Whereas you could pick whatever color. So here's a fun detail of everyone being up at the spawn island. We have hundreds and hundreds of squids constantly spawning and despawning. So, that's really good for the CPU. But yeah, so I wanted to have this alternative obviously because it's really, really slow to select a scoreboard this way, and the hard cycle I think everybody's just kind of bored of. Either you ignore it, or either I ignore it, or other people just have completely gotten annoyed by it, or they forget about it, or whatever. So, that's what you get for living in France.
French people. See, I'm fine. I'm in England. It's not that far away from.
But yeah, he's French, though. It's not a locational thing, it's just the fact that he's French. So what do you guys think? What do you, as server members, what do you guys honestly want? Like a command that you can enter, or like an actual physical place in the world that you have to visit?
I would much prefer to be able to write a command.
Okay. Alright then, let's get started.
He's just...
And everything was working great, but as soon as I entered spawn, it just fucked it up somehow.
Ina is still frozen here. We've been talking off camera for like 5 minutes. Oh, he's alive!
Am I?
Woo! He's moving. So, what we've decided is we want to have the scoreboard cycle. I think we've kind of agreed, and being as this is in a video, hopefully you guys can give me some feedback. We've agreed that the scoreboard cycle is actually really good for the videos, because you guys get to see everything that everyone's done, just kind of scrolling by while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. And that's cool. I like the trigger idea. I think we should get started. We're going to get into the specifics of that later, but we're going to have a reduced scoreboard cycle, meaning there will be less scoreboards that are on there right now. Like, I should take out some stuff like coal ore mined, redstone ore mined, because that kind of stuff just isn't really relevant. I'll keep things like stone dug and time played and just like the more critical ones. And in that way, there will be some scoreboards that you can select with the commands that you can't select that you can't really see in the scoreboard cycle, so it makes them special in a way.
Okay, so what's happening is everything I see is delayed, but when I type a message in chat, it's also delayed for me, but you see it
When did you type that?
right as I enter it.
Oh.
It's really weird.
Alright, YouTube. Let's do the official. I'm going to be working in creative mode on the survival world loadout kit. So, I usually start by, I don't actually know why I'm placing these shulker boxes. I just would like this color in the background because it's nice and pretty, isn't it? And I needed to access this one. So let's put down a chest, unload everything. All of this, end rod can stay. So now my inventory is completely empty and I can play around in creative mode without actually interfering with stuff. By the way, this is what I use to put stuff on people's heads, and this is our old AFK counter. I say old because I think LaFlossie actually coded into our server jar an AFK detection, so we got that going for us. Ina, have you done something with your hair?
Oh, I see.
You look a little bit different.
I didn't say that.
He runs to the corner, takes it off. Alright, Nuke made some magic happen without any help from Ina whatsoever. So, what we got here is a repeating command block to enable everyone to be able to use this command, because apparently with triggers you also need to let them be able to use it. And then, we've got a test for score underscore, the name of it, underscore min equals 1. So if you set it to 1, it'll trigger this next command block. Stop confusing people. And then when that gets entered, it sets the scoreboard, and then and then it resets itself. So right now we're looking at deaths, but if I set it to 1, then we got time played. Alright, this concludes part 1 of 3 of the Command Block Room update. I decided to make this a trilogy just because it's a lot of information and it's going to be a really, really long video if it was just one part. But yeah, that was part 1. Hope you stick around for parts 2 and 3, and hope you enjoyed.